Hey guys, how's it going? Just past 9 p.m. on February 14th, 2018. And wow, what a strange week this has been. You know how I've been saying how busy I am at work? Now it's been, well, actually today was kind of normal. Like normal as in relatively calm normal. But it has been so dead. I was actually thinking, man, I miss these fires I've been putting out. It was just, oh, it was totally slow. And well, I got a vacation day coming up on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, let's get into this here. I have been spending so much time to actually I fell asleep last night watching various YouTube videos. I'll just show you real quick here. I'm going to show you some of my history. I think I did this the other night. Of course, the wiki is dead, but, you know, that's what happens when you stop doing what everybody likes. It kind of sucks. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna cut to the chase really soon. Where the hell is my history? There it is. Why did I want to go back up there again? I don't know. Okay. So, as you can see, I have been... Programming is terrible. Well, I only watched a minute of that. I said, okay, enough of this. This was good. This is a woman who... I started reading, like, procedurally generated terrain. That's another thing that I've been looking into. And, of course, I'm looking at some of the real-world stuff as well. But no, I'm not watching all these. As you can see, I've only I was skipping a minute into most of those. But where's I get to the good stuff? Yeah, checking out some wrestling in between. As you can see, there's the tutorial series, and I've been going through and through and through. I fell asleep during one of these last night. That just it was just like, I think it was somewhere between, yeah, blueprints 2 and 3. I'm much more awake tonight, but then I'm back to having rewatch videos because I was dozing off and missing points or forgetting how to do things. And but I am, it's frustrating, but it's cool because I'm learning a lot. It's just, it's so frustrating because it takes, I need these chipped implants where you're just like, boom, there's the knowledge. Okay, thank you. I mean, I can speed up the videos and do whatever if I really wanted to, but memory with me comes in as an issue. Let's get into, hopefully this works. I've never tried going into the Epic games. This is the run that as administrator. Hopefully everything is working. I'll check this momentarily just to make sure that we are in. So we're currently in, they had 4.1. I couldn't care less about that, like that. Hopefully everything doesn't show personal stuff. I don't think it will. This is the Unreal Editor if you've ever been inside it. I'm not trying to, as much as the lighting and everything like that is great and stuff like that, I'm not trying to, but you can see I do have an RTS. I'll show you that. Let me show you that. There's a blank, I don't know what the hell that is. I have a few. First person, there's a few things. These are like little template things. Let me go into and I'll take you into the RTS one. And believe me, it's nothing. It is, you know, it's a work in progress. It's going to take some time. And I'm still trying to learn various concepts, different modes, what the different templates. The lighting's kind of coming on because I got a light in here. So what that is basically my tower, and I applied some, I actually put a bottom and a top to it. So Let me just see if this is showing up on here. I believe it is. Well, I don't know. Is it or is it not? Well, it says it is, but hopefully it is when I maximize it, I assume. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. So there's not much to it right now. I just put some basic. I haven't even gone into Blender yet. I just started going into. So if you start the mode, and I'll see if playing it works. Oh, I wanted this maximized. How come it's well, whatever. Okay. There should be a way I can do it full screen, but you can see the way the light is now. What I'm trying to get eventually is, I forget how to do it, but there's a way in which you can create the windows, but it minimizes, or it takes, you know, the various blocks, and it reverses them so that you can actually have windows. Let me get out of that. How do I get out of that now? I guess I got an Alt-Tab. Okay. Do I really have to do that? Yeah, I want to kill that. Thank you. Here. You go down here. I'll minimize you. I assume you're working good. Alright, that's fine. I don't care about you. Yes, I want to see you. Okay. So, I mean, there's not too much more to it there. You got your bottoms, you got your tops. There is... I should start off on another one because I'm not too sure about this. Because what I'm starting to get into now is the whole, you can create the blueprints. Eventually I want to get into the C++ programming as well, believe it or not. I said at first I didn't want to. I know I'm going to have to if I'm going to use Unreal. That's the start mode there. So that's what that's all about. I haven't figured out the various switches. Now, problem is everything that I put down, then I have to put, like if I was to put, let's say a geometry here. I want to do the window, but let's start with this here. Problem is when I'm doing stuff and trying to explain things, it's hard to tell you stories, and now I don't want to import anything. Sorry, wrong one. Getting used to this again. Where am I here? Basics, lights, cinematic. Oh, I'm in the content browser there. What? I don't want to import. Why is it showing import? Oh, okay, there we go. Starter content, blueprints. That's what I was. Okay, so let's do architecture. No, we don't want to do architecture. Audio, textures, shapes, particles? No. Ooh, there's pipes. Well, I could put a table in there. A chair. Oh, there it is. The static meshes. Yes. Door frame. There's the glass windows that I really want to get into. But in order to do it, I could remove the wall, which I kind of don't want to do. But maybe I will. Let me just see if I can find that. Hold on a second here. Alright, let's see if I can... Is it too high? Probably is. No, it's okay. Alright, so I'm going to rotate this. I see I know how to do that. Okay, figured that out, no problem. So 90 degrees. Did I do it 90 or did I do it? I don't know what I did. R. No, not R. F. Perfect. Oh. So these are your dimension thingies, majiggies. Now, let's see if I remember how to do this. And I learned it on a video, but I can't remember if, in fact, I did it right. You got your static mesh. There's a way in which you can make that brick disappear, and it was in one of the videos, and this again goes back to create blocking volume. No. Rough convex. I don't even know what. There's so many options. It's just like textures. Okay. Materials. M glass. Angular damping. No. Enable gravity. No. Simulate physics. That's definitely not it. Ignore radius. Simulate. Okay, that's collision. Cast shadow, no. Rendering, visible. Cooking, in editor only. No. I cannot remember how it does that. So I'm probably going to, for the time being, until I remember how to do it, I'm going to get rid of the other one. Might be in the lit category. No, that's not, that ain't it. Sorry guys, just give me a moment here, because I want to talk to you about stuff too. Transform, location, mobility. No. I forget. No, that just changes it. Okay, let's forget. I'm wasting time. How come I got a glass there? I thought I moved it. Okay. Well, that isn't quite what I wanted. So the glass is there, but that's not what I wanted. Oh, this is going to be one of these videos where I thought it would be easy to show you some of the different things. You can stretch anything you want. Well, here, let's take that out of there. Problem is now we got this wall here, and the problem with stretching it is when you stretch it, the texture goes with it. So you don't want to necessarily stretch it, but I wanted to use the way the physics was set up for it. I suppose I can change it so that we're not using the brick, although that would look pretty useless, or pretty pathetic actually. Let's see what else we got here. I did get rid of the window, correct? Yep. Wall. Okay, good enough. So there's a light inside to make it nice and whatever. I think I might get rid of that eventually, but so go back to starter content, architecture. That's the wall. Oh, that's the wall window. But I don't want to have a generic window. I want to be able to create my own window as opposed to that. So I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. So cinematic visual geometry. Make a box brush. Okay. Curved stairs. Wow. Spiral stairs. Spear. Oh, aren't you cute? Okay, I'm willing to play with you. Just because, I don't know. Just because. But there's so much you can do with this, right? So, yes, we have this nice, beautiful looking brick on the outside. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to simulate F Tower as an example, and they used similar brick type structure. Why is, oh wow, oh I see. Okay, so I'm gonna move that down a little bit. I'm gonna move that down. No. Yeah. I know it's not quite at the full level that I wanted it, but that's okay. Like, it's not flush. I actually do want to have it like, if anything, I can put it back up again. I wish you could do the brick. I'm pretty sure you can, and keep the scale of the bricks. If not, I'll just texture it myself, but later on. So let's go ahead and start with does this tell me the dimensions? I don't know if it will or not. It just says wall 40 by 400 by 40. It doesn't really give you the dimension, which is okay. I don't care. So box, cone, cylinder, no. So let's see if this works. I'm going to stick this up in the air. God, that's ugly when it does that. And I'm going to hit the end button. Oh, good. See? So the end will drop on the floor. I don't care about the texture. In fact, I'm going to change this. Let's see. Texture. Let's make this... I want this so damn colored looking. Blah, blah. Yeah. So you can have water. I can turn it into I can put an ocean in there. It's really cool. Wood floor. No, I just want something that's. Can I paint in this? I don't know if I can or not. Visual effects. Yeah, I imagine I can. I haven't really tried it, to be honest. Oh. Okay. Well, geez. That's kind of neat. That you can do that, because then I can, but let me just see this for a minute. I don't know if I want to go that way. Let me go with the colors. Try to paste vertex colors on the selected mesh components. No, that's not what I wanted. That didn't happen. Okay. Still ain't working. Yeah, I want to see the color. Oh Jesus! I'm in beyond over my head on that one right now. Landscape. Oh, Jesus. Hello. Well, aren't you cute? Man, there's so much stuff to learn. Landscape. Geometry. Okay. Let's deal with the basics here. I'm going back to that because I'm in a world that I really don't know too much about. Actually, I'm still in that world. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's find something basic. I don't care if it's marble. What's this basic fiber? No, that's a basic floor. Okay. I'm gonna find something. I swear I'm gonna find something. Materials? No, that's not what I want. Here, let's go back to textures. Oh, man. I like concrete. Here, how about this? Yeah. It's cute. I don't want to use bricks again. If I use the problem if I use cobblestone. What's this? Ooh. You know some. Ooh. You know something? I'm gonna use that. Just because. Just because. Because I wanna. How about that? I like it just for now. And you see, some of it I know what the hell I'm doing, because you can see just because. I guess that's just because. Yep. Alright. So, I don't like how it's flashing though. Just because. Why is it got that? It's like it's okay. Thank you. Oh, I see what I wanted to do. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I know. You're thinking to myself, like, what the hell he's talking about? Perfect. It looks like crap. I know. Relax. It's getting there. Speaking of getting there, I was gonna. Oh God. Okay, here. Hold on a second here. Camera speed. Let's slow this down a little bit. Whoa! Where am I? Now I'm lost. Camera speed up. Here, go to 3. That's better, I think. Oh, doggies are playing. As long as I'm not talking all the time, I don't care. Alright. See, the thing was, I wanted to put this, I wanted to make sure it comes across on the wall. But that's okay. Yeah, let's go this way. Yes. That's exactly what I want. That is exactly what I want. Not exactly what I want, but I'll... Whoops. Nah, ooh. No. I was hitting a bunch of buttons. Not exactly what I want, but I'll take it. Oh. Can I hit end? Oh, yes. Thank you. Ooh, it's even shiny on the outside, too, huh? Now it's not exactly how I wanted it, but I know I'm repeating myself and making it sound utterly crazy, but you know. Oh, I gotta go. Oh, I'm gonna have to go all the way over, am I? Nope. Nope. No. I think that's what I wanted. Yep. Yes. No. Okay. Whoa. That's not quite what I wanted. I forget that when you can't like drag it the one way. Ooh, that's better. I got a bit of a gap up there. I was afraid of that. So I'm gonna have to put it even further, which means it's gonna mess up the roof probably. Alright. Kinda looks like the roof too, but that's okay. Well, at least that takes care of that. I'm not worried about the lip on the top. That's fine. Now, of course, what Blender's all about is I can go in and do this a lot more thoroughly and more like a 3D CAD type thing versus trying to play around with all these little concepts, but gotta test the window out first before I go copying it. What'll happen is I'll make a duplicate over there, but I want to make sure I can fit the window first. So we're gonna go ahead and once I get this, and it won't take long, believe me, even though it's 9:30. Architecture, blah 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 blah. You can tell I'm a noob at this still. Like I'm learning the different things and where to go. But starter content. Is it architecture? No. I was in there earlier. That ain't it. Was it in pipes? Oh, it was. Well, golly. Now, of course, I don't have the frames in here either, which is okay. I'm not too worried about aesthetics just yet. In fact, I'm going to simplify this very shortly because I want to get talking to the concepts of what I'm trying to accomplish here. Well, that's okay. Well, tell me I gotta put the window frame in. I see the door frame. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. I don't like that. For one thing, it doesn't fit the window, although it's not the end of the world. No, I'm not a big fan of that one. I mean, it looks cool and everything, but the problem is here now. It's going to cut into that, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. It's just I don't want it to. I don't like this gap here. I'm not a big fan of that. Well, okay. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, this is another thing, and I remember seeing this and I was just like, oh crap. You can't click onto it now. And I remember, again, selective memory. Oh crap, how do you do that? There's an option on there. Of course, I can go into the reflection capture windows. Where the hell are you? Wall, glass window. There was an option that because it's translucent. It's a translucent option. You can you can't click onto it. Like once you're there, like once you let go, you're gone. And then you have to select it from the element list. This causes problems. So what I might do is I might see. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Just even though I don't want to do that. Ooh. I forgot it likes doing that crap too to me. Because it doesn't snap into where I want it. Okay, Control Z is undo the scale. Let's just leave it for now. It's on the window here. Let me see if I can scale it one more. I got a funny feeling I can't. Maybe I can. Now I'm debating whether or not I'm going to have some type of additional display above our foreheads, like a panel or something. I'm not sure. I doubt it. Just because the glass gives you the view that I want, or at least the view that I would like to have. So to copy it over, that's not the the way I want it. But anyways, to copy it over here, we'll go through here this way, just so that we can see it. You hold Alt down. You can see it's coming. It makes a copy of it, which is really cool. Now, did it put it where I wanted it? Well, that's funky. Okay. Of course, I'm going to have to do the same with the other window. Then I'm going to have to decide what to do with the top. If I'm going to increase the window, or if I'm going to you know, go ahead and do something else. Of course, the ground is all white, but that, you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead with the glass window. I'll hold Alt again. I am holding Alt, right? That's eerie. All right. So yeah, I'm thinking about putting something else at the top, just for now. Okay. Now, see, that's just weird. Glass window 2, yes. So I'm going to put one more Alt. I'm going to put one more copy. And then I'm going to do the rotation thingamajiggy. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Not that one. I don't care which way you do it, as long as you do it. Oh, don't you do that crap to me. Alright, that's better. Aren't you cool? Okay. So, haha, I didn't. Does it that way, right? Okay. Well then, fine. Here, you go over here then. No. You go here then. You want to do that crap with me? Fine. Go over here then. I don't care. And I'll try to do that. Yeah. See how you like that, brother. So there's different ways that you can group different things and blah blah blah. Well, that's glass window. I was thinking of trying something different, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to make a copy of this for now. Is that thing that big? Is it really that big? Really? I mean, I don't care, but, well, I do, but I didn't think it was that big. It's so big it actually goes below, but it's not causing any problems. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever, but that's not what I had in mind. No, that one. Yeah. No, I don't want to do that, actually. So what I'm doing is I'm going to square off that partition. It's actually looking pretty good right there almost. Yeah, I know it's not to scale yet. That's okay. Now, believe me, I do not really know much what I'm doing. I am totally a rookie at this. Oh, man. I have an opening there, don't I? Yeah, crap. I don't like that. Well, okay. Not exactly what I had in mind, but it's a start. Oh, no, no, no. Get out of there. Did I literally just place it just like that? Like I said, sometimes this thing makes you look like what you're doing. Of course, they're snapping to certain grids going on. Not to mention it's a black thing. So you get outside, then the daylight kind of comes into play. It's kind of weird, huh? Alright, let's try one more here. I guess I'll have to put that... Yeah, I'll have to put that partition part. No, I guess I have to do... What do I have to do? I gotta do one of those, but... Here, I like this one. I like that one. Cute, but not what I meant. Oh, I thought for a minute it wasn't on the glass. I was like, what are you doing? You're still not on the glass, are you? Now you are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to get the natural light out of there for a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rebuild it. What that does is it rebuilds all the light. It gives me an error at first. Navigation, building, lighting. Alright, so let's go ahead and play it. Yeah, we'll save selected, because we love it so much. So we'd be looking down, I guess. I wonder if we need the windows to go a little bit lower. So this is like in, you know, the total shade in the background type thing. You can see the sunlight's coming from that direction. I don't know where the sun is exactly, but it's up there somewhere. All the window seams look fine. Of course, the one main would be going here. The diamond would be right here. This is just so you can see the train coming from that direction. I'd probably put a door over here. If it's F Tower, the door would be here. The Columbus sub would be, or not the Columbus sub. What the hell is it? Oh, the Chicago line. I can't remember the name of it. The west-east line, the north-south line between Toledo and Columbus would be going through here. NS would be coming over that way. So this is looking, I like this, you know, and it's, you know, with programming, and this is not really programming. See, I can fly there too, like I can hover. I'm not exactly, but I can't escape. See, there's no escape. And I definitely want to find a door or an opening. I'll have to make a door and figure out a way how to do that later on. But let me get out of that. How do you get your mouse back once you're in here? I guess that's how it, no. I don't want that. I don't want that either. Thank you. Like, hello. It still will not let go of the mouse. Alright. I'll start the task manager then. I had to do this the other night. No, not the editor. We don't want to get rid of that. I think it's that one. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. I think it just worked. Let's hope. Yeah. Cool. So it kind of looks cool from the outside there, from the ground. It's you know, I wonder if I can play around with the textures now, or how will they look in comparison. It's worth a shot. So we'll go to the textures. I forget which one it was. I don't think it was the cobblestone. I think there's a texture copier as well, if I'm not mistaken. That might not even. Was it particles? No, hell no. Shapes, textures, materials. Oh, it's materials. Okay. No, that's not it. Brick, clay, new. I think it is. I think it's this one right here. See how it doesn't scale it properly. Let me put it up here. See, now that did it right. I don't know why it doesn't do it. It stretches it out too much, so I don't like that. I'll have to play around with it or paint my own texture or however the hell I gotta do that. Haven't learned that yet, so that's going to be a process of learning. And then you got the brick on the back wall. Now the real tower would have, of course, there would be a door here. There would be a staircase going down to the bottom. You would have the tracks. You'd have everything else. So what I'm envisioning is to have a real world character start out. I'll leave that on there so I can explain things, because I guess I can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. Not that I would walk, or not that I would chew bubblegum anyways, because I really don't feel like chewing bubblegum. But so the reason why I went with Unreal, and I could have gone through a lot of different game engines. The reason why I chose Unreal ultimately was I liked how it looked, and the whole concept, as I've mentioned, and I've already mentioned where I'm going with this. I'm starting off with and I wasn't even going to go this way. I was never going to take you guys in the editor, and to be quite honest, later on I probably won't be doing this, because we know, I can say, and I bring up Run 8 because Run 8's the most current experience, and I'll get to Run 8 in a moment, because I do want to talk to especially the guys who are looking for Run 8 content, because I may have a solution for you, or I may have a proposal. Regardless, I'm still going to be doing this project ongoing, because my son's into it, I'm into it. This isn't going to die. But so I'll get to the Run 8 and where I need your support and everything that for that to potentially continue. But let me start with this. I'm moving forward with this regardless, without Run 8, and I've said that for some time now. I've pretty much, at least for a good solid month now, into the new year, that's when I started deciding that I had to take a different direction. It had nothing to do with New Year's resolutions. It just happened that the new year came along and things had changed. where I want to take this, and the idea that originally came to me was this idea. It was the idea that had never been tried. I was going to keep it a secret. I think I told a few people what I was going to do, and then I was just like, well, gee, you know, it's such a good idea, and it's something that is really needed in the community, for that it really hasn't been done, and yet it's so simple. And that was, I was going to create an F-Tower simulator, or at the very least, an F-Tower, I mean Fostoria, Ohio. I was going to create a simulator of F-Tower. And there are F-Tower simulators out there in TD3. The difference here was I was going to make it the real live 3D Fostoria. I was going to have all the controls, I was going to have all the things, I was going to, you know, bring in all the CSX equipment and everything, and the only thing I'd have to model would be the cars. I wouldn't have to worry too much about physics. I wouldn't have to worry too much about anything other than getting my assets in play and being able to have the logic of a dispatcher panel. The logic of a dispatcher panel is really simple. It's not that difficult to create a logic, especially when you understand the logic. And I do. I've built CTC machines for model railroads, so I know how to do it. I know I have enough experience with dispatching and all the techniques with various time interlockings, and I know how the electronics work for those things. If you know how the electronics work and how a CTC system works, turning it into a computer is actually making it a lot easier, because now you're only dealing with the same logic, except you're not dealing so much with relays, you're not dealing with logic circuits, you're actually dealing with logic in its purest form. So that's really cool, because now you're dealing with just pure logic. And when you get into, like, as far as the blueprints, I don't think I have any blueprints on here. At least I'm not I hadn't seen one. No, not in this one. And I may have to somehow, I'll have to figure out a way how to export it and import it into other projects and a few other things, but because I may use different templates. I'm still trying to figure out. I like some of the templates, but there's other things I don't like about the templates, and there's still a lot that I have to learn, but the key is to keep doing things. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying as far as what made this a no-brainer for me. There was a program that came out I don't know how long ago it was. It seems a long time ago. And it was a tower simulator. I actually bought it. And really cool concept. All it was I think it was on the Pennsylvania someplace, and it was an old tower cabin, and it was an interlocking, but it wasn't a diamond. You could hear trains going by, but you could never see them. So you got the sounds, but you could never really see them. And a lot of people at the time were saying, well, you know, are you going to add graphics? It'd be really nice to see the train, especially when you're actually working in a physical tower. So I thought about this, and I thought, you know, this would be really cool, because I also have another program called 3D Tower, which is actually a visual 3D air traffic control tower. And that's where I got my inspiration for this one, because you had the air traffic control tower, and I thought, well, I can do this. And all I have to do is create enough models of the area and constantly improve on the models and make it more realistic and more lifelike. All I have to do is keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. And, you know, obviously it'd be a reasonable price. And suddenly, boom, there you go. You have a simulator that's going to give you all the fun of being a tower operator. And I didn't want to do that. At first, I wasn't going to tell anybody about that because I thought, well, damn, I got to do that. I got to keep my mouth shut, because I started feeling, and this is why I mentioned the Run 18, because, you know, in hindsight, I understand how they feel. When you get onto the developer end, you start understanding why they keep things tight, because there's a lot of people out there who will be willing to compete and try things. Now, the thing is, I have a bigger plan now. So for me to do this, if somebody steals this idea, okay, well, good. Let's see if you can keep up with me. Because as you can see, some of these concepts I did learn and I can remember. And as I keep on doing this over time, I'm going to get better. And I'm going to continue to get better. And I'm not running into any roadblocks like I've had in the past, where all of a sudden I'd run into a roadblock. I was like, oh crap, I can't get this. Here's a creation of mine, you know. Yeah, okay, it's Unreal Editor, and yeah, it's hunky-dory text, but it looks pretty cool. And that's the whole idea, is it looks pretty cool. And this isn't even a properly built structure into something like Blender, which I really haven't touched yet. Or Sketch. Well, Sketch It doesn't do it. Sketch It, I found, doesn't go to UE4. It goes to Unity, but it doesn't go to UE4, which is why I wanted to go to Unity at first. And my son and I had the discussion, and we looked at Unity and UE4, and he says, "Don't do Unity, Dad." He says, "Do UE4." And I says, "Yeah, but Unity's easier." "No, do UE4." I said, "All right." I said, "You do UE4." I says, "You're gonna help. You're gonna help me." I said, "I don't want to do it alone." He said, "Okay." He says, "Yeah, I want to do this." I was like, "Okay, fine." And we spent hours, you know, last weekend playing around with the various things. So, this is something, you know, I'm glad I can show him this and say, "Hey, here's the tower." He's gonna look at this and say, "Oh yeah, well, that's cool." And then he wants to get in, you know, and I'm trying to get him into various things and get his creative juices flowing, you know, because he gets bored. You know, he's a kid. He gets bored and everything, so kids get bored so easy. But yet, you know, it doesn't take too much to please him, which is kind of cool about that. So, and the whole project is going to go beyond this. This is only the starting. This is going to just build from this, and eventually, this is where my whole learning the C++ is going to come into play. You know, and there's going to be C++ programming in this as well. I'm almost positive. I can't do it. Actually, I have to, in order to get the random number generators to work. I mean, as much as I can, as simple as I can, I'll get it to work the way I need to get it to work, especially when it comes to the random number generators. And I'm pretty sure I can kind of remember what I used to know 20 years ago in C, and it's been 20 years since I've programmed in C. So I'll get a random number generator going. I'll take enough courses and figure out, not courses, take enough YouTube videos and figure it out. But anyways, enough about that. That's the big term problem. That's why I don't mind showing this, guys, to you, because this is nothing. It takes people, if I just kind of stroked an idea for somebody, well, I don't think it's rocket scientists, and if people really were that committed to trying to find an idea to possibly make some money, then, you know, and you know, be able to do it, well, best of luck to them. But I have a different vision altogether anyways, and my YouTube videos here show you that here's my vision, this is when I planned it. Anybody else comes up with the idea, well, maybe they got it off of me, maybe they didn't. They might claim so, they might not claim, not, whatever. But at least I'm out here on the record saying this is what I wanted to do, and this is how it's all going to begin. This little tower, and which looks like it's floating in the air right now, but whatever. And yeah, that's how it's all going to begin. You know, just one step at a time, learn each concept. It's the learning process that takes a while. Now, that being said, it's been an interesting little while as far as looking at, like, I had various expenses, you know, car, whatever. A lot of the motivation is not just because of waiting around for whatever, or just getting bored of Run 8, or whatever the case may be. A lot of the motivation for me has been to find a second income. That motivation actually started and actually gave me a idea late last year, was to take the YouTube channel and go ahead and monetize it. It's something that I never really, I've always thought about it, but I thought, you know, I got a really cool, passionate base, and they want to keep seeing more content from me. So I thought, well, let me give them something. Let me give them something, and in return, I get the ad revenue. And, you know, it wouldn't be that many ads, but it would be something that would allow me to use the, you know, it's 300 something or whatever. And then all of a sudden, what happened was YouTube came out there and they said very recently that as of April, they were going to stop monetizing unless you had 1,000 viewers and so much view time. Most of the videos I have, within a matter of days, gets close to 100 views, which means a lot of my subscribers are hitting this up. Some of them might be on right now watching me live. I don't know. I mean, I can look at the stats and see that, but I really don't pay too close to the stats. The only thing I really pay close attention to later on is how many views I'm getting. I obviously all the comments. I watch them, see what happens with them, and the thumbs up and the thumbs down. I don't get too worried about the thumbs down. I know. I see the thumbs down, and, you know, I understand why thumbs down happens at certain places or for whatever reasons, until I see comments justifying, you know, what they like or don't like. Then I can't really change anything. I can just say, okay, well, they like it or they don't. Well, that's nice. But what I need to do is, I'm at 300, I don't know where I'm at 340 subscribers. Obviously, I stopped doing the Run 8, at least for now. And I don't want to lose momentum. There's only so many hours in a day, and I do have a lot of extra time on my hands. But if you like the channel, what I would ask you guys to do, especially if you want to see Run 8 content down the road, especially if you originally came to my video, came to see Run 8, if you guys can help me, and this isn't begging, I'm just asking a favor, if you guys can somehow help me and spread the word around just to get people to subscribe, get me back up, try to explode the subscribers to my channel. If I can get up to 1,000, then I can monetize again. And because of that, that's when, even if I start getting close to it, because I saw somebody who was actually, it's amazing, because he was somebody I follow in the subsistence stuff, which I also follow and still do. But I watched all his videos for a long time. For the longest time, he was in the 300s, and now he's asking people for subscribe. He started asking, you know, if you like what you see, subscribe. If you like what you see, subscribe. If you want to see more, subscribe. He started doing that. All of a sudden, he just went over 1,000 subscribers. Just like that. And I was like, wow. And, and he was in the same boat as I was, except he's in a much bigger pool potential bases. Plus, he's a main. He's actually a main contributor to the forums over in Subsistence. He plays other games too, but Subsistence is his major thing. Now, of course, despite how I certainly enjoy Subsistence and games like that, of course, my core is Run 8, not Run 8, but obviously, yeah, I would say Run 8 Train Simulator and other train simulators and some of the projects that I'm working on. Basically, train simulation. I understand that is my core, and I want to do more for my core. So if I see a positive response, I may be willing to get back into Run 8 again, if that's what people want to see. But I need to know what people want to see if that's the case. Or just do this or whatever. Just keep on doing that. The point is, what I'm trying to get at is this. I need to work at some capacity to slowly get into a phase where I can start developing that extra income. It's a little scary out there right now. I live on my own. Prices are going up. I love my, I don't love, well, I should say I love my job. I like my job. I wouldn't say I love my job. It's a great job and all. Very fortunate to have it. But in this day of age where, costs and competitiveness and you name it. I mean, I've put videos out there about that too. It's very difficult to, and I know you guys are all going through this as well. Some of you, can't even purchase a download application. At least I have money in the bank, and I know a lot of you guys are, you've got mortgages, you've got loans, you're in debt, blah blah blah. I've been at least in the debt part. I don't want to be in debt again. So my car is going to get paid off in a little over a year from now, and hopefully that things will start to settle a bit. But between now and then, it's going to be rough. I'm going to be watching my nest egg slowly shrink, and then I'm going to have to start getting into my investments. I don't want to really get into my investments right now because those are the things that I really want to hold on to. I would much rather not have to touch the investments. But unfortunately, it's getting to a point where I'm going to have to make some decisions sooner than later, unfortunately. But hopefully I don't have to worry about that. And this year I should be okay, but come next year things could get really tight before I get that car paid off. So late, I would say within another 9 months from now, approximately, I'm going to have to start either making some major changes or major sacrifices, or I'm going to have that second income. Something's got to change and something's got to give. I just see it coming. So that's all I don't want to talk about money and all that, because there's a lot more a lot more interest in money. And yeah, I can go out there and get a part-time job at night, and I can do all kinds of different things. I don't want to give up my lifestyle. And I work 35 hours a week. I enjoy my job. I don't want to even jeopardize that. And who knows about here? This house is for sale. I'm renting it. If all of a sudden I get evicted, I just took a look at rents. Oh, geez. I mean, I got it good right now. If I have to find another place to rent, I'm screwed. I can tell you that right now. And that's a possibility that could happen at any point, at any time. I wouldn't say I'm screwed. I mean, I just have to dip into my investments, and I really don't want to do that. That's something that I have some fairly safe and secure investments right now that I do not want to touch. So, but yeah. So if you guys can help me out with that, that's great. I'm going to continue to learn, and unfortunately the learning takes a little while, so the content's going to be slow and means that I'm going to have to still do a lot of studying and finding out. And I do appreciate the people who are willing to help me on this project. But like I said, I need to be in a position that I can go in and change and do anything at a given notice, which means I have to learn it. I have to know how to do everything. Or at least I need to be able to do the majority of the stuff on a moment's notice at any time. I can't have any loose ends. And that's the whole thing, is I can't have loose ends. I cannot have something suddenly, you know, disappear or change. You know, because then it's kind of like how we had Run 8 going on for a while there, and when you have people with key positions and stuff like that, and I've seen it happen, you rely too heavily on people in key positions, and then suddenly you start losing key members. It all falls apart really quickly. And I've been through that story before, but I'd be willing and certainly interested in going back into the whole Run 8 thing. I'm still watching to see what they do. I really am. And I've even considered, I seriously thought about this today. I thought, man, you know, my son is not using his computer that much at the moment. He has a laptop as well, which he can do a lot of this stuff, and he may be putting Blender on the Windows 10 side of things. The only thing he uses his computer right now for, the old server, is to play multiplayer with me, and that's, you know, 48 hours, 4 to 8 hours a week tops. Sometimes, you know, less than that. So I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, you know, I could get a Run 8 server going again, and I could put it 24/7. And I'm like, why? You're going to put a 24/7 server? You're getting out of Run 8 and now you want to get back into Run 8? I'd be willing to do it if it pays off. And what I mean by that is, honestly, and despite the fact that there's free servers out there, I don't pay for Hydro, okay? It's not got nothing to do with Hydro. It's got a little bit to do with having to buy another copy of Run 8 and Roots and whatever. I thought about having a demand-based system that I would fully support for a very, very small membership fee. And I know a lot of there's been a talk about that, a lot of places going on, where people would support, you know, bigger places and basically that they would never have to worry about that. Well, the thing with me is if I could have that, I would continuously develop and push into it as well to support it. That's the thing. But realistically speaking, I don't know if that's feasible, or even if I can't get enough people on for free, why would I get enough people to pay? But I really haven't tried a lot of different concepts, and there was one that I kind of got in the idea of doing a 24/7 based server, but have it somehow, I don't know how I would do it exactly. I had some ideas. For whatever reason, I can't think of how I was going to do it, but somehow I'd make it work where the crews would basically come in, start moving the traffic and everything, but somehow it would play into other people taking the roles of the dispatcher, and that we would still be able to drive the 24/7 style AI as long as somebody was on the server. I don't know, but I going back to this, and let's get off the Run 8 kick for a bit because it's depressing me. It really is. I hate to say that. I mean, I know, you know, the guys are doing whatever the guys can do, but I just, like I said before, I didn't like the direction of where Run 8 was going, which is most of the reason why I kind of left. So, but getting back to where this was, and I had a train of thought, but it's probably gone now. This is, for me, this is where, I want to take things. I want to be able to push the envelope here as much as I possibly can. And I know that's not the train of thought that I had, but all of a sudden I had to apologize for being depressed, but depressed, like thinking like, oh crap. I'm still keeping my eye open, but I don't have much faith, and it's got nothing to do with the guys. It's got nothing to do with the team. That's just the way things have happened. This allows me to put myself in control, full control, kind of how they felt maybe 6 years ago when Microsoft or whatever, everything that may have been didn't come, and what have you. And I have a lot to learn in this realm. There's a lot of learning new concepts, learning new programs, like learning new platforms, Unreal 4. So it's gonna be a process. It's not gonna happen overnight, but I'm committed to keep trying it and see how it goes, and take it in baby steps. Start with a simple project like this, see how it works out. I may go beyond the realm of the Run 8 and go into something more mainstream that has possibly more mainstream potential, but for now this is where my passion is. So my true passion is still in this, so I want to see how that goes. And I don't know what I was going to say, but it had something good to do with this project when I was starting to look at what was happening. Oh yeah, I remember now. I'll close it off with this, 1024, so I'm going to end it in the next few minutes. The whole process in here, when you get inside, let me just go inside and I'll show you what I mean. So you're inside your tower, and I can hit L, which doesn't work. What's the direction? No, that's not what I want. Point light? Ooh, see? Okay. So, you got these, first of all, you got these little lights, which are kind of cool. Do I get another one? Oh, I get another one. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Okay. Let's do a few more things. We got time. Why not? So intensity. Well, let's put it down to 1000. Uh-huh. See, you can copy, Control C and Control V. Let me just bring it down even further. I like the visual side of things, which is kind of cool. You see where I'm going here, right? Okay. So you can see where it's the colors are pointing, right? So they're all pointing that way. Now, we want to go here. We want to go, oh, not that way. I know I said I would do that, but see how it brightens up when you go in there? I like that. I love the shininess too. I didn't want to do that. Give me back my light. Oh, you're not quite in there, are you? Looks like Christmas in here. What was that? What was I just looking at there? I thought I was looking at another shape or something. Oh, I see. Well, that's kind of neat. What's it in the wall there? And it's just kind of here. Uh-oh. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm on the wall here. There we go. So what I wanted to do before I lost my concentration again. Now, do I have an architecture that can... No, it's material. Content... the corner frames. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a structure now. Obviously. Well, maybe not so obvious, I don't know. Okay, let me build the light again. Lighting needs to be rebuilt. I thought I just rebuilt it. Okay, never mind. Selected viewport? Okay. Well, it's not quite how I wanted it, but it's a start. But you can see by the way the lights are in here, you know, basically what I'll have to do is I'll have to fabricate a proper enclosure. Those light sources would come in play. And that to me, what I want to do for as far as I know, F Tower, for example, uses computers. I've always wanted to do a CTC machine, and I want to be able to do one, possibly using that material too in the background, maybe something back here, or I don't know, maybe the one overhanging on top of the roof here. And you know, if I have the day-night cycles to be able to, I know there's I've seen the day-night cycles in this, and just like, it's really cool. But to be able to program that all in, it would be really, really cool, I think. But again, the real driving factor behind all of this. Let me just save this here. The real driving factor behind everything that I want to do is the whole AI dispatcher thing. That was what, for me in Run 8, is what lost the interest was, and I've seen it with a lot of other people where it's just when things become so big, and I know a lot of people like it when they're becoming big. And it's great when they have their friends and they have a big community or whatever. It's kind of the same argument I made before AI came out, was that the bigger communities would have more potential. I've seen this over and over happen again in various platforms, where when you rely on people, and this happened with Freight Yard Manager, this happened in Run 8, when you can't have something that's single player, like TD3 single player, it don't matter. You can be able to dispatch anything you want, except you're not really part of a system. You're just basically dispatching. You're doing one job. You can only do so many things. Microsoft Train Simulator and possibly other simulators allows you to have various jobs, but you're not really part of a system because you're playing scenarios or activities. So once you're out of it, you either have a creator, a generator, whatever, but even their activity at Microsoft Train Simulator was never dynamic enough to really understand the logic behind AI dispatching. And I do not know of any simulator on the planet that properly does AI dispatching. And I know there's somebody mentioned something, or one of the ones that can do it. But I don't know if it's as up to my standards, because my standards for dispatching are very high. So can it do the things that can it simulate a 100 to 200 train a day territory? I'm not so sure about that. I'm not even too sure if I'm going to be able to do that, quite frankly, because I still have to test it. But before I do that, I want to start with something that anybody can do single player wise, and that is start with the basic CTC machine, start with the basics of having a world like this where a single player can come in, operate the tower, get all the eye candy as best as I can make it, and it's gonna. I'm certainly open to third-party developers, however, or people that want to contribute art, for example. That's one thing I'll put out there, and maybe I'll rephrase when I'm looking for help. I'm willing to have people and give credit to, and I certainly will. For example, Quincy was offering help. It's not as far as the coding and the project thing. If he's willing to contribute content, then I'm more than happy to do it. But having assets is one thing. Being able to have particular assets and say, and I can pinpoint, especially somebody who's being willing to contribute something, which is great, and not worry about monetary or anything like that. Now, don't get me wrong. If I start making money, you got to be careful, because then I have to start splitting the pot. But Quincy was very nice enough, and he said so, I believe, either in email or in the forums. He was basically saying all he wants is credit, and of course I would give him credit. Absolutely. And there's people out there giving RTS credit for some of their, and that's all I asked from them too. I says, yeah, just give me credit. If you can create a car forwarding software for Run 8, more power to you. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Just kind of throw a mention that maybe I inspired you or whatever, and that's great. I'm all cool for that, because for me, I didn't have the motivation to do RTS Beta 2. Not in Run 8's current form. But having the dispatcher, having the AI dispatcher is key to everything that a system has the potential to be, not only a single player, but a multiplayer system. Because then the multiplayer system, what happens is you have everybody that you can get in and I'm not just talking a regular multiplayer world, I'm talking about a massive multiplayer world. Something where you could have, ideally, big picture, I would like to have this world eventually have a territory of the size of, say, CSX, give or take. As I said before, this is going to be a world that will likely be proto-lance to freelance. It's not going to be. It's going to have some reality to prototype, but again, I'm not worried about modeling after a particular prototype. I just want to get the damn thing working. I don't want to be worrying about researching, what one route looks like, or elevation data, or how a tower looks like F Tower here, which is obviously not looking anything like F Tower. I want to be able to put a CTC machine inside, and as opposed to put a computer machine inside, for example. I want to have that freedom, the artistic or modeler's license, as they call in model railroading, to be able to simply use my creative ability, add that to my whatever programming logic ability that's still relevant that I can apply to the project, then just push it out. But imagine a territory of the size of, say, CSX's network, let's say. I don't even know if it's going to be that big. Let's just say, because people talk about it, hey, keep on expanding California, make it 800 miles long. Well, okay, well, who's going to run 800 miles? Somebody apparently is. Well, okay, that's great. Try doing that in the confines of how most people try to run servers. You don't have enough people to run enough dispatchers to have all those traffic elements. But let's just say, for example, we have a territory that has, or we have a territory that has the potential to have that much traffic in, say, 2,000 miles of track, and that's not CSX network. Let's just start it with 2,000. Let's say 2,000 miles of Class 1 railroad traffic, and we'll say CSX like. So a 2,000 mile network is not very large. You're talking 5 subdivisions, 6 subdivisions? No. Okay. Let's call 6, 7 subdivisions. Let's even go so further and call it a 3,000 mile network. So you have a 3,000 mile network across 7 subdivisions, give or take. And I know my estimates are off. I'd have to look at timetables again, because I know a lot of timetables are a lot. You know, there's like some subdivisions are 180. Some subdivisions are 180 miles. Some are 300 miles. You know, it varies depending. It used to be enough to where a crew would change, or whatever the hell the rule was when there was a reason why everything was set to a certain subdivision, basically. It had to do with crew changes at one point, or being able to service, or getting water, or, you know, stuff like that in the old days, but doesn't really apply to modern. So let's take the example. You got 3,000 miles. You've got 7 subdivisions, give or take. 3,000 miles, give or take. Mostly Class 1. Most active rail lines in the entire network, combined with enough feeders, yards, maybe a hump yard, at least one hump yard somewhere in the middle of distribution. This, you know, you have a passenger network as well, in part of it. So you're in a populated area, say, such as maybe the East Coast or whatever. So there's a lot of industry. There's a lot of, not necessarily everywhere, but I mean, you're going to have scenic areas in between, but there's going to be a lot of feeder traffic, maybe some short lines that are going to feed in, fully modeled short lines, I might add, not just parts or, you know, whatever. We're gonna make sure those yards actually support. So if a yard goes in, say, a Bakersfield, you're going to have everything that would feed Bakersfield, including all the short lines and their attributes. We're not going to stop and say, well, you know, the scope is the main line. Well, okay, well, that's great. The scope's the main line, but how do I operate it if the scope's the main line? You want to have everything. So if you're going to have a yard, and I know I'm using Run 8 examples, but that's all that's on my mind right now as far as my relevant or recent experience. Take you know, Yuma Sub or whatever. You got that yard over at the other side of Barstow there. What the hell serves that? Nothing. I mean, you know, it's great that there's a yard there, and it's great you can stage traffic there, but really, what do you put there? I mean, I think Nebo and another industry might serve it. And I mean, I know I'm laughing at it, but I mean, what do you do with it? It's a beautiful looking yard. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a nice looking yard. It's too bad we couldn't use it because I've never used it. I know there's grain. They use grain transload stuff, but maybe it's an old yard. I don't know. I've never found a use for it, but and so. Anyways, I'm getting off topic and getting back onto what can be used and can't be used. So you get a full network with yards that serve their purpose fully. Industries, maybe some abandoned, some not as used heavy, and some that get daily service. They're all into play. Let's say it takes at least 3 to 4 dispatchers slash operators, because you're talking heavy districts with I don't know. Sometimes a dispatcher can have up to 2 subdivisions, but let's even push it further and say, because F Tower, for example, is a subdivision of its own, because the F Tower operator, until it was discontinued a few years back, used to be its own district. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that we still have tower operators, despite the fact that there's dispatchers, but we still use tower operators in various strategic points where we feel it's necessary, where we didn't want to automate it, or it's better to have an eye in a tower to control movements, etc. So, and I mean, I know a lot of it can be done remotely, I understand that, but for whatever reason, let's just say the tower operators are in play too. So let's say we've got anywhere between 5 to 10 dispatcher slash tower operators. Add that to the number of trains that could be operating at one time across 3,000 miles. You're looking at, I will say 100. 101 for 3,000 miles, at least. I would go so far with 3,000 miles. I would actually go so far as to say likely 200 for 3,000 miles. Maybe not. Okay, let's do 100. So you got 100 trains across a territory, 7 dispatchers, 20, 140. Yeah, okay, we'll do 150. So you got 150 trains. You've got, at various positions, you've got tower operators, dispatchers. You've got all these intertwined parts. You've got locals. You've got yardmasters. You can easily have a system that potentially could support at any given time 24/7 a day, that can potentially support up to, I would say, I would, considering potential for 2-man crews on locals, I would say you're looking anywhere between 200 to 300 potential slots. And that's for a world at that large that can still potentially expand even further. So 200 to 300 slots all have to be capable of AI. All of them. Every single one of them. Why is that? Because if you're part of a system that you're truly in part of, and you have all those components, and you have all those routes, and you have all those various industries, it has to be dynamic enough to do everything. It has to be smart enough, powerful enough, and basically not wear down your system to be able to operate the hump yard. It's got to be able to do the dispatching. It's got to be able to do everything. See, once you get beyond 3,000, then you're getting into especially with graphic. I mean, the graphics are going to be something that I'm going to put as important as well, but graphics are not going to be the most important thing. I want to make sure the operation is important most of all. As much as the graphics are good, the tower part's going to be nice and all, but at some point, either the graphics are going to have to be able to tone down if you're going to operate the amount of background stuff that I'm talking about. So the key there is anybody, whether it be single player, multiplayer, will have the same opportunity to have the same experience. And it doesn't have to be the experience that some server decides to put. It doesn't have to be the it doesn't matter, and servers can be different. You can have one big server, or you can have servers that run in different eras, that have different operations, that have different industries. They might be based on the same maps or the same worlds, because the one thing that going with UE4, and the reason why I'm still key on going with UE4 is because I'm going to be able to, one, I will create the content or be able to facilitate the creative content. So in other words, others will be able to create content, and I will be able to hopefully streamline that and bring it into play. Be able to be, to be able to go through me so that I can streamline and have new content. I want to encourage people to contribute. I want to encourage people, if they have free stuff they want to add, if they have stuff they want to mod in, great. That's fine. But as far as the world goes, no. In a multiplayer world, especially with Unreal, the only thing that I can see happening is the import of assets, movable assets that are actors, and what they call actors in this, and that has to be scripted or be able to be programmed in to operate properly. The actual world editor, and the reason why TSW doesn't have the ability to do that is because creating a world, a UE4 world, by a user interface, I don't know if it's possible. Maybe it is, I don't know, but from what I understand, it's a very difficult task they have ahead. And because they went that way and they still want to have, or at least, I don't know what they have. They have an activity basis. They don't even have an activity editor as far as I know, which is kind of weird. I don't see why they can't, quite frankly. I don't know why they can't be able to script anything. Because you can script anything. You can script any asset to be able to move in this, or actor is what they like to call them here. But the base world has to be, the base world has to be the base world. I don't know how you can do it otherwise. I mean, there might be a way to do it, but I'm not worried to make sure that people can put in their favorite railroad or favorite whatever and stuff like that. Let somebody else do that. If somebody wants, there's open rail still, and that's got a feasibility. I certainly am not objected to people building their own custom engines, their own custom physics, their own cars, their own engines. Yeah, I think I said that already. I guess that's it. Cars, engines, buildings, structures. That's fine. I don't see why not. I can't see why that, because they're basically pieces that you would put in. As far as I know, tracks, that's a totally different thing, because the tracks would actually, if you put a structure down, you can put a structure anywhere. It's not going to really matter too much. So if you want to have your own unique industries that are much better realistic graphics than vanilla, which mine's going to be vanilla, believe me. I'm going to have a lot of vanilla stuff in this, trust me. But to be able to put in your own structures for various things, like you might not be able to do the tower, but I'll see if it's possible. I don't know. But to be able to, because that structure is going to be part of the whole control system. All the other buildings around, I mean, it's going to be fine. It's like, you want to have yard shacks that you can walk into that aren't really functional except to take a look around, or observations, or maybe view trains from an apartment building or a high rise or something like that. You guys want to build as many high rises as you want, and you have the characters be able to utilize the steps and climb up or whatever. And if you can put the assets in and import, they're easily be able to be added to a map. I got no problem with that. But when it comes to trains, the track and how it relates to the inner workings, because the dispatch boards are not going to be editable. They're not going to be... I can't see how that's going to work. Everything's going to have its own control. I really want to get into the CTC side of things. You know, we've seen too many of the computer monitors. I really want to get into the CTC boards. Perhaps, you know, I don't mind having it modern. Who's to say? They're cool looking. As far as I'm concerned, they're cool looking features. And the beautiful thing about a CTC board is the assets are very simple. That what I'm showing you right there, the green, the yellow, the red light. If I can get it into a particular asset, or an asset that just basically shows the green lamp, the yellow lamp, the red lamp, then I can get the switch handle, then I can get the plates, L, R, left for left movement, R for right movement, N for normal, switch movement, R for reverse switch movement, the code button, the alarms toggle. For those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, some of you may know what a CTC machine looks like. Those are the types of elements. Once I've created that, and believe me, the CTC machine, I'm going to make it a genuine looking CTC machine. Union switch and signal, baby. It's going to be a CTC machine, trust me. That's the one thing, if the graphics and scenery look crappy as hell, this environment, when you're inside this building, you are going to have a Union switch and signal CTC machine replica. And I'm going to put this in Unreal. And you're going to have those green and red lights. They're going to be in a nice dark room, and it's going to be shining. Even the CTC, the dispatching simulations, once this expands into outside territories, I'm going to have the CTC boards. Like, I'm not going to have the screens. I'm not going to have. We all look at screens all the time. No, I want to have the whole. This is the trains that are coming in. You got your train list. You can basically look at the list and see the trains. You're going to be in a 3D environment always to do this kind of thing. So it's going to be a virtual dispatcher as well. It's not going to be, hey, you know, hit a button and here's your dispatch screen. No. You're either going to be the dispatcher, or you're going to have an AI dispatcher do it for you, and you're going to just be running the trains. So, and if you want, I mean, hey, this tower is going to be fully AI as well. So what'll happen is, if you just want a rail fan and watch the vanilla trains go by or whatever people add on, then yeah, you'll be down below and you get to see the trains going by and everything like that, and funky dory and whatever. But eventually it's going to go beyond dispatching. It's going to go beyond AI dispatching. It's going to be going on just AI train control. It's going to be AI trains that switch. It's going to be AI humps. It's going to be AI everything. And the AI may not be as smart as humans, or might not be able to do as good of a job as humans on a lot of things. That's not the point. The point is, can it do it safely enough without failing? And can it just simply continue to evolve to get as good at or close to procedures that the humans would do? And I would say yes, most AIs in most games and most applications can do it. It's just a matter of writing enough code to make sure that it behaves the way you would expect it to behave. It doesn't do pattern recognition as well. Computers are not good at pattern recognition. Humans are. So that's one of those things that you have to rely on a procedure. You have to think logically on this. Whew! That was a mouthful. Wow. Has it been 2 hours already? Sorry, guys. Well, hopefully that was fun. I mean, this actually got me in a much better mood, because I was looking at my finances earlier. Like, but you know, I don't want to think about money too much. I wanna be able to just create, and if there's, like I said before, with the YouTube channel and Run8 and all that other stuff, I'm willing to try and do that in the meantime, or on the side, or whatever. Maybe, you know, do this on the side and do the other. Let me know what you guys are looking for. you know, let me know what it is that you really want to see the most. If it's run 8, let me know. Now, I'm not saying that means I'm going to do it, because quite frankly, if I'm doing run 8, I need run 8 to be a hell of a lot better than it is. I mean, it's a great program and all, but I need to know what's happening, and I need to know the direction. Other than what's been said, I understand the thing that's been said at the end of last year. I need to know where they're going with it. I need to know what these new territories are. Is it something that I can get into? Then it all comes back down to, okay, are these things going to get incredibly huge where they become massive headaches for a single player? Or is it something that, you know, enough people are going to get into, and we can do multiplayer together and blah blah blah, and then we can make all kinds of content, and I can get 1,000 subscribers and everything will be cool, and I'll be able to make that residual income? Again, it gets back to that. So I've done a lot of this for free for the longest time. I think it's time now that I try to develop something and think about that second residual income at least. And I hate it to have to come down to that, because I think there's a lot more things important in life than money. But unfortunately, the way the world we live in right now, one job doesn't seem to be enough for one person. You almost need 2 people living in the same roof to just live under expenses. So I really don't want a roommate. I would rather not. I'd rather not start dating again if I can help it. But yeah, it's a little scary out there. Anyways, this got me in a good mood, and I like this little thing. This is really cool. So I'll have some fun playing around with this. I'll have to get into Blender by the time, I don't know about this weekend, but maybe next. I'm busy this weekend, but anyways, that's all for now. So, like I said, give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think, or, you know, do your thumbs up, thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed already, certainly the more subscribers the merrier to my channel. I always appreciate it. And until next time, I'll have another video probably at least on Sunday at some point later on. So thanks for coming, and appreciate your feedback as always. Take care.